Sometimes we pick with our heart.
I know. We do. We do.
And our hearts will lead us down a very bad road sometimes.
I know.
It looked good, though.
I feel like I should have known better, especially that first game. Yeah, that was a heart pick all the way. However, I will say, the Lions did cover, so my money pick did hit.
That's another one in the bank.
There it is.
I tell you, if you follow the show, you watch the program, you can make money.
Yeah, and if you have bigger balls than me, and you put a little more money on these games, say $100 a pop, you make yourself a good amount of money on this show.
Next year, you're going to up the ante.
Oh, God, no.
That's the promise for season 2.
That's the problem. The problem is, is that one game you're like, you feel so confident. I mean, I'm not really speaking from experience, but I know what happens. You feel like so confident about a game, like easy money, and then
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
and I had a feeling too. Like I really wanted. I don't know if I wanted the Ravens as much as I just didn't want the Chiefs, but I really wanted the Lions. I like the Niners too, but I really wanted the Lions.
Yeah. I mean,
it's a tale of two halves.
It's just so, you wanted that, everyone loves the Cinderella story. I don't know many people who don't love it. I feel like everyone in the country was rooting for them outside of San Francisco or whatever, the Bay Area.
Yep.
It was unfortunate, and again, if you listen to the show, you know that we are not insane, but we are not the biggest fans of going for it when you have the opportunity for a field goal to put you up more than another, an additional score. Let's say that. Let's say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'll just get into the first game anyway. Chiefs and Ravens. Chiefs won 17-10. No points in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the Ravens had plenty of shots. A lot of stupid penalties, other than the fact that the offense wasn't moving. A lot of stupid penalties.
Yeah, that dude like clothesline Mahomes. Yeah, pretty legit. What was it? I'm trying to think of the other penalty.
There was another one that was like, it was on the defense, I think 2 or 3 times. It was pretty bad. It's like they were just completely undisciplined, but that offense just could not get going.
No, and it's not like in Mahomes. And it's the same story for them, is that their offense has been down, but their defense has emerged, It's
that D-line.
Yeah. But Chris Jones did get injured a little bit through that, so I'm not sure what he's looking like, but 2 weeks to the Super Bowl. So.
There was a couple plays where he ended up banged up a little bit.
Nice. Nice. This is my first Bud Zero. I'm very excited for it.
I like the packaging of this.
I do too. I haven't had a Bud Heavy.
It's all like grayed out except the zero is red.
It's like college.
It looks.
This is taking me back.
I dig it. I dig it.
I do too. Sorry.
Sorry.
50 calories. Okay.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah.
I was really impressed with the Chiefs D line. I think that they were kind of the difference maker in the game.
Mm-hmm.
They got the pressure on them. They couldn't get a run game going. At one point, it was like late in the first half. It was like Lamar had 5 completions. He was like 5 of 12.
5 of 12 in the first half, yeah. And I know sometimes I think he tries really hard not to run on every single play, but there are some plays there I'm just like, just freaking run, dude. 2 yards, it's 3rd and 2, just run.
And then he was running on one play, but he kept looking back and like, just go, dude, just go. Like, I get it. And then that the fumble was bad, like the strip fumble.
Oh, my gosh.
Sheesh.
So it's funny. One of the things that Bill Belichick always coaches, and again, he's a good coach, maybe not so much a GM lately, but he always coaches not to stretch the ball towards the goal line, especially when it's already a first down.
Yep.
It's like situational football. So, and I think between that, the CeeDee Lamb play a couple weeks ago, and the Chiefs play last week, that's 3 instances in the past 5 weeks that a ball has fumbled right at the goal line and become a touchback.
Yeah, and they were all legit. Like, I mean, some of it, you watch the replay, like, oh, did he actually get it and then fumble?
Yep.
Nope.
And also, I don't know if you remember the Ravens play, and I totally forgot about this until later on. Do you remember the Ravens playoff game last year with Hundley when he was playing?
Yeah.
And he went for the quarter. He was on the 1 yard line, and he went for the sneak, and he put the ball up, and he fumbled it, and they returned it 99 yards the other way for a touchdown in the playoffs. I was like, wow, that happened to them 2 years in a row.
It's just such a risk. It's such a risk. And that was such a good drive, and it was a good play. And it's just for it to end that way, it was just like, oh, man, everything went against them.
There's something about these dynastic teams, or whatever you want to call them, franchises, that when you're playing them, you just do the stupidest shit imaginable.
Right.
Like the Seahawks against the Patriots.
Yep.
There's just like stuff, like inexplicable things. You just forget how to play football. It's just the Falcons forgetting how to run the ball. It's just weird.
Throw it away.
Yeah, it's just so bizarre.
But that's like, watching the Patriots dynasty. If you're not a Patriots fan, we'd always be like, every fucking time, like something always like falls their way, but it's like the mental aspect. And it kind of happened with Detroit too. We'll get into that game, but same thing. Like the Chiefs now, they're hot. Yeah. The pressure was on the Ravens. They were the 1 seed at home. Yep.
The thing that drives you nuts about the Chiefs, and what a nuts, whatever. But like, I think your cousin said it this past weekend. Is like and the Patriots 6-3 in Super Bowls. They could have been 9-0. They could have been 0-9.
0-9, yeah.
But the Chiefs, like, they have the one loss against the Buccaneers. Everything seems to always bounces always go their way. I'm waiting for the bounce to go the other way because it has that like Tyreek. Yeah, Tyree.
David Tyree.
Yeah, bounce is happening against the Patriots from time to time, but I'm waiting for it to happen to the Chiefs.
I know. It was just really I mean, they shut them out in the second half. Yeah. I mean, props to the defense. Other than a couple stupid penalties, they held the Chiefs to 0. I mean, they only gave up 17 points.
Yeah, and like the other, I mean. Yeah, teams make plays, man. That should have been a touchdown. And then later, the Ravens were driving again, and Lamar inexplicably threw it into triple coverage.
Oh, in the end zone.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, likely he was open. Yeah, but he underthrew him. Yeah, and then also triple coverage converged on it.
And they were talking about there was a little bit of contact in the end zone with one of them, but it was like it
was so bad.
He was getting undercut anyway. It wouldn't have mattered. Yeah, he threw in triple coverage in the end zone.
I did see the replay, and I gotta watch it over because I did watch it over and over again, trying to think like, oh yeah, but is this so bad? And the guy was there. The guy that hit him didn't make the interception, but. The other dude was right there.
I just don't think.
I think it was enough. I think it was a good no call.
Yeah, it was a little bit of contact, but you throw it into triple coverage, and the guy undercut it anyway. Yeah. It was.
But also, I want to say too, this is why I know refs get a lot of shiitake because they, sometimes they make terrible calls, but you forget all the calls that they get right. Like every play that goes off without a hitch is technically a correctly refed play. Yeah. So it's like typically it's like 99%, and like when that stretch to the goal line happened. The dude, he threw the ball. I'm like, oh, he broke the plane. What's this ref looking out? And then he watched the replay, and he was totally right. Like he called it, and those plays happen so fast. Right. And I have refed flag football, which obviously is 0.0001% of NFL, and it's difficult. It's difficult. Yeah. A lot's happening, and I can only imagine what it's like in the NFL when dudes are running freaking.
That was the same game that. Kelsey on the third down looked like he got it.
Yeah, and he didn't.
And he was short. I was like, wow, I was surprised. Like that was like a bad spot. Yep. But then when they showed it and they came back from like commercial or something like
the missed fourth down. Yeah.
And they're like, oh, if you guys thought that they should have challenged that, look at it again. And they had it right. He was short, but it looked like it was close.
Yeah. Bang bang plays. That always happens.
The refs really did a decent job, and like I didn't see like too many bad calls or anything.
I saw the Ravens subreddit was complaining about some of it, but a lot of the comments were like, no, we just didn't show up. You scored 10 points. You scored 10 points.
10 points.
Unless you're playing against the Patriots, not going to get it done.
And you had a touchdown that was a fumble touchback. Yeah. And then you were driving and threw into triple coverage. Again, like you held the Chiefs to 0 points in the second half, and you still lost the game. Yep. It's just like, oh, that's so maddening if you're a Ravens fan.
Yeah. Yeah. So Lamar, another year of, woulda, coulda, what if, but sucks.
A lot of comparisons to Mr. Prescott over in Dallas.
Yeah, except he's won some MVPs, which is like a thing. Like he's won hardware, but at this point, it's like, nah, whatever, man. Who cares? Just win.
I think I'd still rather have Lamar than Dak.
Yeah, I would too. But like they always complain he doesn't have the wide receivers. So they get him Zay Flowers, they get him OBJ, and they get an offensive coordinator who can build a better offense, and he still can't get it done. Yeah, he had the home game, man.
It was a horrible performance by their offense. But again, credit to the Chiefs D line because I kept saying it throughout that game. Like I feel like that was the difference maker was their D line.
Yeah, and that's typically what you see with these really good defenses. I mean, you don't really see Legion of Booms anymore. Like the secondaries, it's just the defensive lines that get after the quarterback and make them run around like a maniac. So,
and they had a strip fumble on Lamar.
Yep.
They forced some bad throws. I mean, he had 5 completions. The running game never really got going.
5 for 12 in the first half was pretty wild.
Brutal.
Yeah. Yep.
And then our second game here. We're down to 2 games now.
I know.
This is like weird.
I know. I got a little bit other stuff to chat about. But
okay, perfect. Second game was, oh, man. The tale of 2 halves. The Niners over the Lions 34-31. They had a 24-7 lead at halftime. The tale of 2 halves.
Yeah. 24. Yeah, they had a 17-point lead. And then what was it? The 49ers scored a field goal. So they're down by 10. Oh, no, 14. Yeah. Kick field goal. They're down by 14. And then the Lions were driving. And it was 4th and 2. And they had 45-yard field goal attempt.
Yeah.
And they decided to go for it. And listeners of this show know how we feel about this. You're up by 2 scores. You could go up by 3 scores. Kick the field goal.
But he did it at the end of the first half. He had the wherewithal.
I know, he kicked the field goal.
He kicked the field goal, and I was like, all right,
That's the one I would have went for. That's the one I would have went for.
Well, I don't think I would have went for any of them because maybe you can gamble a little bit more during the season. You're in the championship game.
Yeah.
You take whatever fucking points you can get.
Yep.
He did it at the end of the first half. They kicked it. They went up 3 scores.
Yeah.
And they kept saying, I guess Campbell must have been the one that said, oh, it's a race to 30. It's a race to 30. They kept saying that in the announcing. It was a race to 30. I'm like, yeah, but if you kicked those 2 field goals, you would have been at 30.
Right.
Exactly. Before, I mean, I know this was 31. They scored a late touchdown, but they had 24.
They left 6 points on the board. And the field goal, I mean, they always could have missed the field goal, but the percentage is higher. And I will say,
it was in fucking San Francisco. It was nice weather.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's a good point. I thought wasn't it raining? Or was that last week? It was last week. 4th down. It was in Reynolds' hands. He should have had it, but he was also going left. The ball went right. Your body gets contorted. The second one, I don't even know what the hell they were doing. They were just to tie it. They could have just tied it.
Yeah.
And then they missed it, and then they went down 2 scores. So, math. It's like math. It's all math. It's like 3-score game. They have to score 3 times.
Yeah.
And you only have to score once.
I'm gonna sneeze. I know it's gonna. I know it's gonna come.
Don't.
It's coming. My allergies have been acting up so bad today. It's coming.
Look at the light. It's really bright. You.
Is that like a trick?
Yeah, look at the sun. Well, that's what I do when I have to sneeze. I look at the
There's
light.
a tickle right here, so I know it's coming. I've been
Get you a
sneezing.
feather.
Yeah, I took an allergy pill, so this is like they've been acting up. You know, it's January. It's allergy
season.
Yeah, of course.
Right. I've had winter allergies.
It's the worst. I think this was a case where Campbell's calls to go for it screwed the team. But the team also screwed the pooch on drop balls. The handoff that was a fumble, because I forget if it was Gibbs or was it Gibbs that fumbled that one?
I thought it was Gibbs.
He went the wrong way because you could tell Goff was like, what are you doing?
I usually put that stuff on not the quarterback because I have to imagine the quarterback knows the right play. Yeah.
So I think he went the wrong way, and then he had the ball. And he fumbled it after Goff already gave it to him.
Right.
So you fumbled that.
Yep.
There's a bunch of missed balls. So it's like I blame Campbell for not just taking the points, but the team also had other opportunities, and they screwed the pooch.
Yeah. And there was one play in the Ravens game. It was like a 4th and 2, 4th and 3. And there was still a lot of time on the clock. And if they missed it, that game was essentially over. And it was a great play call to like spring someone open. I forget who it was, but it was a great play call. And if you're going to call 4th and 2, go deep into that playbook and get a play that's going to get you 2 yards.
Yeah.
2 yards. Find it. Future head coach of the Washington Commanders.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, at this point, we still have a vacancy. So as of
what's his name? Ben Johnson.
He is the likely candidate. We'll see. I think his in-person interview is tomorrow.
Yeah. That'd be my question. What was that play call? Okay, the first one was in Reynolds' hands, but again, it's weird when you're going left and trying to go back right, and it happens so fast. I can kind of see it, but those gloves, again, I've used them in flag football. Those things are sticky as hell.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I don't know. They had guys that were open that were dropping ball. It was really like the momentum, and then it was like the head game. They just got in their own heads as soon as they came out and they were up by 17. As soon as shit started to not go their way, it just fucking completely unraveled. They got a late touchdown that was, not to say it was useless, but it was a little useless.
Yeah, and that was the other thing too. They on that drive, they ran it at the goal at the 1 yard line. Had to use a timeout.
They screwed themselves. Yeah.
Bro.
And it wasn't even all their rushing attempts were terrible because they kept going right up the middle and getting nothing.
Yeah.
Like there was no like outside, a sweep. Yeah. It was just like right up the middle, nothing.
Yeah. One of Gibbs' touchdowns, I think, was an outside one. He was just fast. He's just faster than everyone else. So, boop. So yeah, that was a bummer. That was a bummer. Happy for Brock Purdy though.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's not to take away from the Niners. They came from behind 2 weeks in a row. That was like a knock on them at some point too, that they couldn't come from behind and win.
That's true. That's a good point.
And they did it twice.
And I know you had something there, but I'm happy for Kittle. It's like Kelsey on the Chiefs side, he's like a meathead, but he's an annoying meathead. Kittle is also a meathead, but I enjoy his antics. Sure. I don't know what the difference is. It might just be the winning. Could just be that very easily, but I do like Kittle.
What was going on in the Chiefs game with him messing with Tucker with the warm up and throwing his helmet and shit?
I saw something actually before I left today to come here where Tucker said he's been doing that his entire career, so it wasn't a thing. But he's like he was like throwing the stuff, throwing his helmet. Yeah, it was weird.
I'm not a fan.
Yeah,
I'm not a fan. I'm sorry.
It
has nothing to do with his girlfriend. I'm not a fan. I'm sick of him.
Yeah, just don't be a dick. That's my rule number one. My rule number one of ever is just don't be a dick.
Yeah, but then there's times where like when it's on your team, like Kevin Garnett, you don't give a shit. So I get it because it's not on your team, but like
there's plenty of guys out there in the sports world that it's like you hate him if you're playing against him, but you'd love for him to be on your team.
Yes, for sure. And Garnett, I think, is a perfect example because if he was not on your team, you would hate him.
Right.
But when he's on your team, you love him.
Yeah.
I could see it. I mean, also, he did break the record, the postseason record.
I know, really fast. He had a great game.
He had a great game. I'm not taking anything away from his skill because he had a couple of really nice catches in that game.
Now I'm thinking like, were they they weren't sandbagging during the regular season, but they definitely, they turned it up a notch for the playoffs.
Maybe they were doing the load management.
Yeah.
Like the NBA does.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it could have been, but they're turning it on at the right time. I think the Bills would have had a better performance had they made it.
I don't know.
Against
maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know.
In a season where you don't have Cincy, it's like I would have liked to see some of those matchups.
I know. I just wanted something new, and it's close. It's so close. And the Chiefs. You saw the down, and they made the Super Bowl. Yes. But people have been saying how the rest of the league is kind of down. So, like, on a down year. And the Patriots did it in 2010. That 2010 Patriots team should not have gone to the Super Bowl. They were, like, literally 32nd ranked in defense. But Brady dragged them there. They got there. Edelman was playing cornerback. And sometimes the rest of the league is down, and you sneak in. And that's what happened here.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's too bad that the Detroit Magic is...
It's out.
It's over.
It is a boring... It's a boring matchup because it just happened a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
It's Mahomes. The 49ers, I don't know. It's boring. I mean, I'll watch it, I guess.
And Tony didn't play in that game. And then, they cleared Debo.
Yeah.
So, and the McCaffrey got a little banged up. He landed on his head twice in that game.
Yeah, he got spiked.
But
they were working on his neck and shoulder, so I don't know.
Yeah, the late one, he didn't really seem to get bothered by the first one. The late one, by the end zone,
he asked for a breather.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he's got 2 weeks to recover.
They got 2 weeks. They're going to Vegas. How dudes are not gonna gamble and get arrested, I don't know, but it'll be fun.
Amen. Well, anyway, that was our fast
the week
review.
The
week that was the conference championships, and we'll go into our beer because we already talked about it sort of.
Yeah.
Our beer of the week, Budweiser Zero.
Mm-hmm.
I had some last week, and then we drank them, but I didn't have them for the podcast. 50 calories, 0.0% alcohol. I really like the presentation. If you can see it, it's all grayed out.
Yep.
It's red where it says 0.
I'm impressed.
Yeah, I like it.
I'm impressed. Like I said, it takes me back. Makes you feel young again. But it's just wild how, I don't know how they do it. All of these companies. I don't know. I like it more than the Corona.
Yeah, I will give that another shot.
Yep.
But yes.
I don't know if I like it. I don't like it. I don't know if I like it more than the Athletic IPA, but I like it more than the Athletic Light, I think.
And where do you put the Sam one? Remember that we had the Sam one?
Oh, I like that. Oh, that's tricky.
You know what we got to do? We have to
rank. Yeah,
we got to do
rank them.
We just got to buy some.
Get a whitebboard and just.
We should actually. That's
a good off-season topic.
I wonder if we could do like a mix of 6 or something. We have to figure that out because Peroni has one. Mm-hmm. I will not try Guinness.
I'll try that one. My brother said it was terrible.
I can imagine. I mean, if you like Guinness, I can imagine.
I love Guinness. You know me. If it's there, I get it. If it's on tap, I'll get it. Oh, I can't get it in a bottle. Mm-hmm. I'll do the cans because they have the little stopper guys. You put it upside down. I will try it, but I also don't want to buy a 4-pack of it because
is it in a 4-pack? The NA or
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
I don't think so.
Oh, okay, if it's 6.
There's a whole little cooler at the liquor store.
That's why I didn't get the Sam's for so long because it scared me. But then this presented an opportunity of like, oh, awesome. So maybe I'll get that. But you don't want to try it, so I'll have to get something else for you.
Yeah, there's a.
But I also here's the other thing too with the Guinness is I need a glass. I need a pint glass. I can't drink it out of the can. I need to. Maybe I can bring one of my Guinness glasses.
Does it have to be like bowed or does it matter?
I think as long as it's a pint glass, it's fine.
Okay. Some of them are like bowed. Glass. I don't know if it pours differently. I
have no idea.
I'm not a Scientologist.
No. All I know about Guinness is that, or if you're gonna do it in the glass, the bottle into the glass, you gotta do it upside down. So it just like because it hits the stopper or whatever the heck that thing's called. The thing's called and just like pours over it like a waterfall thing. I don't know what it does. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't get it either.
And one time at Bose, shout out Jenny, she's like, some customer once told me that if you do halfway, and then you
the spoon.
The spoon. So again, so it cascades over, and then that's how you do it.
That's a lot of work for a fucking beer. Just crack a beer and drink it.
It makes it good though. I don't know if it makes it any better. I can't tell you one or the other. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it's nice because back in the day, it was like O'Doul's and Beck's was the other one.
Yeah.
Now you got all these major brands. There's even going to be like NA White Claws.
Wow, which
is weird.
There's non-alcoholic wine and stuff too.
Yeah.
This is good. I like this one. It's weird. It's like I haven't had a Budweiser heavy. Again, I do, but my Bud Light of choice. So I cheated on Dry January at the game dinner, and I was like, I gotta have one at least. And my drink of choice is if I'm gonna get all the lights, it's the Bud Light. You know, Coors Light, Bud Light, Miller Light.
Sure,
it's usually the Bud Light. Don't know why. I think when I played softball back in the day, that's just what I went with.
Was that the one that you had at the game dinner, Bud Light?
Yeah. Dan Rock, shout out Dan Rock, Coors Light.
He went Coors Light.
He did. Wow. I was like, I don't know what he's doing with the Coors Light. What is he doing?
The Rocky Mountains.
My father-in-law, Miller Light. My father, Bud Light, which is probably where it comes from.
Man, we should do different segments too, where we're ranking lights, NAs, lights. Mm-hmm. I feel like Miller won't rank very. No, it would rank higher than Coors for me, probably.
Mm-hmm. Busch Light.
Busch. The Busch lattes.
That's another throwback. Oof. Because it's just Bud Light, but cheaper.
Basically. Gansett Light. I don't think I've ever had a Gansett Light, but
yeah, I have not had one of those.
Anyway, that's your off-season topics.
Yeah.
But
starting early.
It's the beer of the week. Do you have a hot take for the Super Bowl?
I do not have a hot take for the Super Bowl.
Jessica, that's 2 weeks in a row. What, the playoffs? She pulled an us and a Cowboys.
I could do a recap of our previous hot takes if you'd like me to.
Yeah, go ahead. Why not? We got time. We only got one game to
no, there's no game next week. So okay, I'm gonna ask. Now I will say, so before we get to the Super Bowl, whatever, the Pro Bowl, if you're into that kind of thing, is this weekend. We got the Thursday Skills Showdown, Thursday between 7 and 8:30. Oh gosh, you already wrote back to me. On ESPN. So not a public event to attend if you're in Orlando, just FYI.
It's in Orlando?
Yeah. Remember when the Pro Bowl, you remember, it was in Hawaii.
Yeah, it used
they had
to
those
be
brightly colored jerseys. People tackled. That was awesome. It was after the Super Bowl.
It was after the Super Bowl, and it was like more of a time.
Yeah, it was great. It's great. I miss it.
Not anymore. It used to be. It was like their vacation was like right after the season, and everybody comes and they go, and now they're doing it in Orlando.
And Sunday, the Pro Bowl games championship, which I'm assuming is the flag football game, is Sunday between 3 and 6. So I'll pop it on. It's on ESPN, ABC, Disney XD, ESPN Plus, ESPN Deportes, and NFL Plus.
There's a reason why it's on every fucking possible channel.
I will check out. I do enjoy the dodgeball, and I'll enjoy the flag football. And I think we talked about this weekend too. Flag football is going to be at the Olympics, so we got a little bit of
so dorky.
We got an off-season football topic to talk about because I'm pretty sure NFL players are going to be playing in it. They're going to win 1,000-0.
I wouldn't risk my career for flag football in the Olympics. Like, how cool is it really to get a gold medal in the Olympics for flag football? Even if you're a pro, like you're an NFL stud, is an Olympic medal in flag football like worth it for you?
I guess. I mean, what's the difference between one medal and another? It's not like they have a name written.
I know,
but it's like if you put it up in your thing 100 years from now, like that's my great grandpappy's gold medal. I'm not gonna have to ask him what was it.
Well, that's like my dad was in the army. What was he? He was a chef. You know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? I feel like
he was a soldier. That's all you have to say.
But there are levels to your gold medal. Like, what did you get that for? Like boxing or wrestling, track. They play flag football.
Just wait till they add frisbee golf, frolf. Just wait.
Frolf. Have you frolfed?
I have. I don't think they like calling it frolf.
I've never heard it, but I love it.
Yeah, I love it. Wait, you've heard of frisbee golf, just not frolf. I heard people call it frolf.
I've never heard that, but I am one to combine words. So I just love the fact that it's a thing.
I have done frolf.
You frolfed,
but like in like as a kid in my front yard, like hit that tree's the hole.
No, I mean
not in the woods, but they have like holes and
yeah.
We talked about it. So every year, I think I've talked about this in our flag football fantasy football league. The winner has to decide so we have to do an off-season event to decide draft order. Or decisions on draft order. And mine was like a cornhole tournament. I was going to do frolf, but one of the rules is you can't do a thing that like someone potentially cannot do. Like if someone is just like unable to throw a frisbee, it's not easy.
What?
I'm not going to
unless you have like
cornhole's so easy. Any dummy can do it, but throwing a frisbee, not everyone can do it.
All right, unless you don't have both of your arms, you can frolf. Frolfing.
But I want to give, as everyone,
frolfing for all.
Some people have like different. They have a long one. They got a short one. But no, I've never actually frolfed.
I would love to. I'm actually more interested in that than actual golf.
Yeah.
I feel like I'd be terrible at both.
Let's do both. That's why I didn't pick that as an off-season thing when I won, because...
What did you pick? You picked cornhole?
It was a cornhole tournament. We've done cornhole. We've done, like, yard games. We did, I think we did with COVID, we did we watched the MLS tournament is back, and everyone got a team and stuff like that because we couldn't actually do anything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we've always tried to do something. We did mini golf once, and then once we did, I don't know if you ever played the game. It's the big, it's like a German thing. It's a big block of wood, and you got like hammer and nails. I forget the name of it. I'll have to look it up. Yeah.
How could that be fun?
I didn't do very well. The pizza was good though.
This is the off-season topic. It's a game in Germany where they fucking nail a 2x4.
So anyway, long way to Grandma's house. The Pro Bowl is this weekend if you want to watch it. And not only the Pro Bowl, but the Senior Bowl, which is actually a tackle football game, is Saturday at 1 o'clock.
Interesting.
Yeah. None of the big guys, like the number one wide receivers, will be in there, but you'll get some good guys. The Patriots coaching staff coached the Shrine Bowl last year, which is similar to their Senior Bowl. I think it was a Shrine Bowl, and that's where, and DeMarco Douglas played in that, and I'm pretty sure that's where they spot, found out, and they drafted him in the 5th round. And he had a pretty good season, so we'll see.
Okay,
we'll see.
That's your football.
Yeah, this weekend
viewing for this weekend.
Yep,
I won't be watching. Probably none of it, honestly.
I might put it on in the background, but yeah, I'm probably the same as you.
Did you get a? You got a response?
I did actually. It was a good one. It was a lot of them. So, all right, hot take for the Super Bowl. Most watched ever.
Sorry, I got to make sure I do the segment.
Most watched ever. Records shattered. We all know why. Chiefs win. Kelsey proposes to Taylor on the field. Brock Purdy poops his pants.
I think the most likely scenario of this whole thing
That's a lot of takes
is I think there could be poop.
Yeah.
There could be poop. There could always be poop.
Yep.
Highest ratings. I feel like every year.
You know who's watching, right?
Yeah, but I feel like every year the Super Bowl gets higher every year anyway.
But beyond belief. Not just a minuscule.
All right, so let's look this up because we're going to play this game.
Okay.
Although I'm not exactly buying the numbers here because when they said the Peacock game was 23 million, I don't buy it. I'm not buying it. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Those are like Jake Paul numbers. I'm sorry.
All right, here we go. This is interesting. The 1982 Super Bowl remains the highest rated Super Bowl broadcast. It earned a 49.1 household rating, which I think means like 49% of households were tuned into it. Viewership peaked in 2015. That Super Bowl was watched by over 114.4 million people.
What Super Bowl was that?
If I knew how to read Roman numerals, I would tell you. 49. Go Patriots.
Well, it was the Patriots Super Bowl?
Yep.
Against
the Seahawks. Yeah, so that was it. That was the bless you.
I knew it was coming.
There it is.
Thank God.
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't realize that. That's funny. So yeah.
So that was the
average viewers alone.
Yep.
Okay. The highest rated of all time was Super Bowl 49 with 114.44 million. Okay, but not the highest rating.
Okay.
The highest rating of all time.
Well, I'm saying like the most view. Did she say the most views?
I'm sorry, I'm just looking at this one. 49ers at the Bengals. Super Bowl XVI. What number is that? One. I don't know what the number that is. XVI. What Super Bowl
26?
Is that is? No,
24.
Is that 16? They got 16.
Wait, what?
XVI. X.
Oh,
10.
yes.
VI,
16.
yeah. Yep. Okay. Sorry. She did say, let's see what we got here. So yeah, this is gonna be a pretty good hot take. Most watched ever. So we're talking average viewers in the millions. So it has to beat Super Bowl 49 with 114.44 million.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Last year, 52 was the third most watched.
Wasn't last year 57?
You are correct. My Roman numerals are bad. 57. 57. And then 50. Yeah. And obviously it makes sense that the more human beings there are, the more viewers there are.
Sure.
So, but the fact that it's been almost 9 years now and no one's breaking it. So we'll see.
What was last year's?
Who played in it or?
No. What were the views?
Last year's was 112.17.
So close.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay.
It was the third most watched.
All right, so smashing the record.
Yeah,
I mean,
smash it.
I'm glad ESPN fucking posted today that she's on tour in Tokyo, but because of the time difference, she could make it. Now I can sleep tonight.
No, she'll be there. Don't you worry about that. Who's airing the game this year?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. I think it's CBS.
I think so too, which is
the
fucking the worst production. They haven't
aired a Super Bowl since 50. I'm sorry, that's a lie. I lied
in
to
time.
your face.
Just in time.
Nope. 55. That was the last one. So they go in. Oh no, Fox, CBS, NBC, Fox, CBS. Yep. Oh boy, sorry, bro.
So it'll be CBS.
Yeah,
I mean, I think people see it differently. When I see every time he gets a touchdown and they show his girlfriend, I feel like it's like you're setting. I think you're setting women back because it makes it look like I know she's not, and it's not her fault. I feel like it's the production's fault. They're making her look like a mascot, and they're making it look like she's coattailing.
Yeah.
Like, oh, your boyfriend's succeeding in something, so we have to show you. Like, I feel like it's like this weird thing. I feel like it's people maybe think it's a good thing. I don't think so.
Let me ask you this question.
Sure.
Tom Brady was married to Gisele Bündchen, and now in the United States, she is very. I mean, she's obviously well known in the United States.
Sure.
But worldwide, she's huge.
Yeah.
Rivaling that of Taylor Swift worldwide, because contrary to popular belief, there's more than a dozen or so people who live outside of the United States.
Yes.
And I'm going to assume, I don't think whenever the Brady threw a touchdown pass, they showed Gisele Bündchen every single time in the Super Bowls. I remember one clearly of her. I remember one when they won at the end, which I can kind of see, but not after every single touchdown.
I mean, there's times where it's a touchdown that it's not even him. There's times
That's bad.
When he drops a ball.
Yeah.
If he's just on the sidelines and they're talking about him, it's like weird. It's just like I don't care that you show her, but the frequency is like.
And I remember
a little ridiculous.
A couple in the Saints Super Bowl. I think I've talked about this before. The Saints, when they won the Super Bowl, there was one of the over-unders. It was if they're going to show Kim Kardashian or how many times they're going to show her.
Yeah.
Because Reggie Bush was dating her at the time, and Fox never showed her once, which I appreciated. Now, I'm not comparing her to Taylor Swift, but sort of, because, celebrity dating someone. But yeah, it's pretty obnoxious. It's going to be ugly. It's going to be ugly.
It would be like, and it would be like she does a weekly concert. Mm-hmm. And after every single song, they show Travis Kelce. Now, at first, you'd be like, "Oh, that's cool." But after every song, every week, you'd be like, "Why do they keep showing him?" Like, that's what it is. It's not like, Taylor Swift or whatever. It's not. It's just like, but why?
Yeah.
It just why?
Yep.
I just don't get it. I don't get it.
Me either.
But whatever. I live in a weird world.
Yeah, it's true. Do you even have a Facebook? Get out of here.
I don't have I hate social media. I really do. Mm-hmm. This is a whole other topic.
I'm in the same boat as you.
I do. I know. We both are not fans of the social media.
No. We're bad people to be sharing out a show, an online show.
It's really hard because we don't promote this show because we just don't like social media.
Right.
It's tough, but I do share it with people individually.
Yeah,
I will send it to people. Now, if you guys want to share it, put it up. I don't have Facebook. I don't think you have Facebook.
It's there. I just don't ever use it ever.
So he doesn't have Facebook either.
Yeah,
share these episodes on Facebook. So
I had it deactivated for a long time, and I was gonna get rid of it. And then I think COVID was happening, and Jess was saying how no one in my family is going to ever see my child grow up. So I was like, okay, I'll keep her for a little while longer. And now it's just there. Like, all these people wish me happy birthday. I haven't replied to any of them.
Listen.
Sorry, people. Thanks, though. I appreciate it. If you watch the show, thank you for the birthday wishes. But I'm never going to reply to any of those. So they're just gone. They're in the ether. I'm not going to reply.
They're gone. I went off of it for a couple of years, brought it back, and then I think it's been about 4 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Again.
And you're living your best life.
I love it.
Yeah,
I do love it.
So yeah, and same with the Instagram. Until we started this show, I think my last post was like 2015 or something like that.
Yikes! I know we did share some. I think in the off season we'll get a little bit more in the socials. I really hate it, but
it's just so dumb. It's just so dumb.
It's. See, the difference is like promoting something like this is like an actual thing to promote versus people are taking pictures of their fucking animal or their dinner. That's not something to promote. That's just fucking nonsense. So We'll try. We'll figure it out. Now, do you want to make a prediction this week and then make a final prediction next week? Because things could change.
Things could change. We're going to see what the injuries look like. Is Joe Tooney playing? He's injured. What's this extent of Chris Jones's injury?
They got 2 weeks. CMC, I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. I'm struggling with this one. I don't even know what the spread is. Last I saw it was 1 point. I saw the 49ers were favored by 1 point.
1.5 as of right now, but anything you look at, it could go down to 1.
Yeah, so I'm struggling. I actually have to go right down that I was 0-2 last week, which I'm very sad about.
I was too. I was like, damn it, winless.
Yeah, not happy about that. Let's see what we got here. And I have to make a money pick too, but I might hold off. I'm going to hold off on the money pick until next week. Because we're talking about money here. So I want that to go.
No, this is just a prelim prediction. Next week we'll make a final prediction.
Yeah. I feel like the Chiefs are going to win. I feel like the Chiefs, I think it's like inevitable at this point. It's like people felt with the Patriots. But I feel like they're going to win. That's my initial thoughts.
I will. I think my heart says San Francisco. I left my heart in San Francisco.
You did.
Okay.
Detroit. Yep.
And I think I really want the Niners because, again, they've been there, and I get where people might be annoyed with the Niners but they still have not
94,
done it.
Yep.
94.
Yeah.
And, the Lions hadn't won it like championship since 57.
Yeah.
I'd like to see the Niners. I don't want to say if I had to make a snap judgment, I think that I'd say maybe the Chiefs. But if the Niners can get rolling early and not have to fucking play from behind,
yep,
I'd like to see them do it. But I think if I had to make a snap judgment,
they just have so many weapons. I would hope they could break through that defense, but yeah,
they're gonna have to spread the ball out, but they have weapons to do so. Mm-hmm. And if that defense can step up, and again, I think if you hold the Chiefs to 17,
they win
like the Ravens did. I think the difference is the Niners win that game.
Yes, I agree. Yeah,
but it's contingent. That whole game might be contingent on the Niners defense.
Yeah, you might be convincing me otherwise because typically when the Chiefs ran into a really good team, they lost. But they turn it on in the playoffs. But also the Super Bowl is also a different game. It's a longer pregame. It's a longer halftime. It's all weird. The field last year was a mess. So I'm curious to see what that looks like this year. We'll see.
It is. It's you could get a big energy dump because halftime is extended.
Yeah.
The whole thing. It starts at 6:30, and what time does it get over? Like 11, 10:30. It's like a 4-hour fucking thing.
I know. Not great. Who's halftime this year? Halftime show?
Usher, but I think there's other people performing.
I never watched that.
That's another thing we can maybe talk about is some halftime performances.
I don't watch the halftime show.
Come on. There's got to be a list of like all the halftime performances. That's right. You don't like music.
That's true.
Maurice said, quote unquote, a few weeks ago, if music went away tomorrow, I wouldn't care.
That's my hot take of life.
That is a scorcher.
Yeah.
I don't know how you do it. You just never really been into the music.
I've never really been into music. I didn't listen to music on the way here. I don't listen to it while I work. Sometimes I listen to it while I work out, but not often.
What do you listen to? Your own thoughts?
Podcasts.
I
my own thoughts.
I mix. I do a podcast, but I need music.
Or I like to listen to a baseball game. I like it on the radio. That's Radio's not bad. I enjoy the radio. I do enjoy listening to sports on the radio. The 2008 Celtics run, I worked nights and I listened to 75% of that season on the radio.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Time I enjoyed it.
Well, all right. So we'll see what the spread's going to be like for next week. Right now, it sits at San Francisco 1.5 favorites.
Tickets as low as $6,631.
Honestly, what are you doing?
I will say,
want to go?
Yeah. Right. The prices for the 49ers Lions game, which were like hilariously low when we were recording, they did bounce back up. Remember, we looked at the prices and it said like low as $17 or something weird for the 49ers Lions games.
I thought that was the other game. No,
it was the 49ers. And we said the West Coast is soft. It did go up. I checked it midweek and it
went up to $23.
Yeah, it was close, but I was still confused as to what happened there. So these tickets, Yeah, not go to that.
No.
Do you know anyone who ever went to a Super Bowl?
My father went.
Did he really?
Yeah, because
My father went.
What game did your father go to?
Super Bowl 36.
Which
The Patriots Rams.
Oh, he went to Patriots Panthers.
Really?
Well, because he worked at Gillette,
That's right.
so he went to that one.
Yeah.
I forget where that one was.
Yeah.
Houston, maybe. I forget where that one was.
Houston or Arizona? I think Houston.
I think it was Houston.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, that's right. I remember both your parents went to that
Yep.
game, right? How did they get tickets to that one?
My cousin was dating Wayne Huizinga's daughter.
Okay.
Wayne Huizinga, former owner of the Miami Dolphins.
Okay.
Which cousin of mine? I have no idea which one it was. My dad would know. Yeah, some miscellaneous Cerulo and somewhere, I don't know. And I just remember, and my mother does not watch football. I was very upset. Very upset that she was going. But it was in New Orleans, so they made a whole thing out of it.
Sure.
And I just remember my dad trying to convince my mother to go. And one of the things that he said, and I still remember it to this day, was him saying, they might never go again.
Well, that's a good point. They were 0 for 2 at that point.
Yeah. And if you, like, one of the things Dan Campbell said after the game is, like, there's no guarantee we come back here. So it's not, Teams make, like, the Bengals made it, and that, or the Bengals made it in the 80s twice, didn't go back for another 30 freaking years, So, and now they might really never go back to the Patriots. So we'll see. But it's true,
No, you never know. I mean, I've said that to my father too. Like this season, like when you were watching,
and 90-1. Did you think it was like, oh, we're living a high life? This is great.
I mean, it was from 82 to that point, it was 5 appearances, three Super Bowls in that like 10, 11 years or so. And I was like, when you're watching that game, January 26, 1992, Minneapolis, Minnesota, when the Washington Redskins won that Super Bowl. Like, did you have any idea that you'd go on a fucking 33-year streak of shit?
Yep.
Nope. So I actually like the fact that Dan Campbell said that, because it's an honest thing. Like, not that we're planning to fail, but it might not happen.
Yeah, it's funny. When I was first talking to, I don't know if I told you about this, but I was first talking to Chat GPT, just like messing around with it, the AI tool. Mm-hmm. And I said, what happened on my birthday? Literally the day I was born. And one of the things that it said was that the Washington Redskins won the Super Bowl. And I was like, pretty sure I was born on like a Wednesday or something. So that's not true.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, you were born in
88.
Oh. Well, they did win in January of 88 though, but I don't think it was.
I was born on a Monday. So unless the Super Bowl was on so it must have been the 17th back in the day before the Super Bowl was like now, like in freaking early February.
Yeah.
So now it's always on Dan Rock's birthday.
Now it's later. It's a week later.
Yeah, that's true. And when they inevitably move it to 18 weeks, it's probably going to go a week later, but it will be nice because then it'll be the weekend of President's Day.
What do you mean? It's going to be 18 games?
I mean, it's not official, but I'm convinced the next time they have like a CBA come up, they're going to move it to 18 games.
So 2 preseason, or do you keep
That's
the third
probably,
one?
Yeah,
2 preseason and 18
and like
games.
another international game or whatever, and then if they move it another week, President's Day weekend.
And then it's just, then they're going to go right into March. And
then the United Football League kicks off right after the Super Bowl is done.
How glamorous. How exciting.
Yeah. So that was a funny little thing. But yeah, they won it that year. They probably won the Super Bowl the day before my birthday. My mother was probably in labor when the Redskins won the Super Bowl.
And I showed up like 6 months later. I missed my second one to be alive for anyway.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that's our thoughts.
That's our
thoughts for this week.
It's funny. I don't know how we want to handle like the recap of the season, because obviously it's a long season. Maybe next week. There's a lot of news that's happened recently with Belichick and the Patriots, and maybe next week, because I'm assuming by next week the Commanders will have a head coach.
I would say by the end of this week.
So maybe that's a good time for us to talk about that.
Yeah.
The offseason moves so far. The Patriots stuff just happened so fast. It was like whiplash. Yeah. It usually doesn't happen that fast.
Yeah.
So they're looking at, and they'll also have probably their coordinators figured out by then and all that stuff. So yeah, I think next week is probably a good time to look at it. But
I like your idea of we can go. I mean, obviously, we're going to focus more specifically on New England and Washington. But I like going through each team and just having a quick
one thought of,
like about this season and then about next season, like a little prediction about next season.
That's fun. I can write those down. And also like getting to maybe not next week, but get a little bit into just the draft and like roster composition and building rosters and stuff like that. And there's some interesting stuff. This draft class is really intriguing. Really intriguing. The wide receiver draft class is very deep from what I understand. I'm usually in pretty lockstep with Evan Lazar of the Patriots beat, Patriots Unfiltered. He actually works for the Patriots, or their like content media team. And he was saying on his show this week that JSN was his like number 1 ranked wide receiver this past year, and he would have been number 5 in this draft class.
Wow.
So there's a lot of guys out there. And he's the one that said he called Demario Douglas a poor man's Zay Flowers and was excited if the Patriots took him, and then they took him in the 5th round.
No kidding.
Yeah, so I like him. And it's also a poor no, I'm sorry. I think it's a good tackle class too, deep tackle class. So interested in that. I'm curious your thoughts on, and we can talk about this in the draft show. But like, yeah, that's why I kind of like the composition of like a team. Like, do you take a left tackle over a wide receiver? If you have a 10-year, would you take Joe Thomas or Calvin Johnson, a whole career? Because neither of them won anything.
Probably in that example, probably Calvin. However, we got rid of, back in the day, our cornerstone was Chris Samuels. He retired. We had Trent Williams. And ever since he's been gone, we had Brandon Sheriff, but without having those pieces, those were like our blocks for a while.
Yeah.
I do miss those.
There's a tackle in this class, Joe Alt, left tackle from Notre Dame, who's like almost as sure a thing at tackle as like Manning was at quarterback. Like 10-year guy, plug him in. Would you do it? At 2?
Not at 2. No, not at 2. And that's no knock, but like when you're that high up and you need a quarterback.
Yeah, I'm all about like
you go quarterback.
I'm all about building the team from inside out, and quarterbacks included in that because they play inside.
Yeah,
inside. Maybe not the guards, but the tackles for sure. Left tackle, blind side.
Yeah.
Oof. Yeah. Joe Alt and his dad played. He played 12 years for Kansas City as a lineman. So
interesting.
So he's just like Marvin Harrison. He's got the pedigree, the family pedigree. And he's also just really good.
That actually like hurts my feelings to see all like the second generation, or some third generations. Yeah. But like Marvin Harrison Jr., Frank Gore Jr., like
Joey Porter Jr.
I'm like, God, fuck. that hurts so bad.
The first time you see someone get elected into a Hall of Fame, and you're like, wow. I remember watching you when I was driving a car, and now you're 5 years retired or something like that. It hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts.
Well, that's the other thing, too. I think at some point they'll announce the Hall of Fame class.
Yeah. Because I think they do like the NFL honors. They do it this whole weekend, too, right? I think. It's like everyone can attend. I don't know. But they used to not do that award show, but now that's a new thing, too.
Yeah.
So yeah, they'll announce all the maybe we'll write down like who the award winners are, like Rookie of the Year, MVP, all that fun stuff. We'll talk about that a little bit. But yeah, and then a quick shot through each team, maybe 1 week, one conference per week or something like that, or divisions. I don't know. There's all sorts of ways we can it's more than one way to skin a cat, so we'll see.
That's true. Well, we'll see. We'll see how this goes. I got to take a sip.
Fantasy football's done. I got my keepers for next year, probably Laporta and maybe the gentleman from the Buccaneers. Yeah, man. Money pick is gonna wait for next week. I'm gonna wait. It's too.
No, that's fair.
It's almost a pick 'em at this point.
I will say, and I've said this to people too. As the summer's ending, I'm like, and I'm ready for it. Kind of. It's nice that football. Starts
it helps,
right
as it helps alleviate some of that pain of summer. Ending.
Right, they kind of intersect the end of summer and football. Yep. I'm at the end of football.
You're ready for it to be over.
I'm just ready for it to be over because I feel like as fun as it is throughout the fall and winter, it locks up a Sunday, the whole Sunday. Because I watch the 1, the 4.
Yep.
I'll try to follow like the late game. It would be nice to have a Sunday back.
Yeah.
And I'll definitely have this Sunday back, and actually Super Bowl doesn't start till 6:30, so I'll have most of that day.
That's
back.
true too. Yeah, I got some work done around the house, which was nice. But yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Did a lot of cleaning the garage this past week. Yeah, I'm gonna try and watch some of that United Football League when it happens. I will try March 30th. It kicks off. But it's like it makes you miss it because it's so short. The season really feels so short.
Yeah,
it was one game a week. One game a week. You know, you watch on Sunday, you talk about the game Monday, maybe Wednesday, and then you move on. You go to the next, you're ready for you got to prepare for the next team. You can't keep talking about it. You got a game coming up.
Right.
So, yeah, it's a fun sport.
For sure. But anyway, so this is right under an hour.
Yeah.
This is I think these off-season ones are probably going to be around under an hour, I would imagine.
Yep.
Less to talk about.
Yep.
So once the season kicks back up, it'll probably go back to an hour and a half.
Of course.
Because naturally, without even trying, we always finish at an hour and a half. But anyway, like, comment, share, subscribe. Share this on Facebook. Share it with 100 people that you don't know.
Yeah.
And then 300 people that you do know.
Chances are 100 people on your Facebook friends list you don't know.
Or
you haven't talked to them in 15 years.
Right.
But they might click a link.
They
might be like, hey, I like that guy's sweatshirt.
Right. New England Tech. Shout out New England Tech.
Yeah, shout out New England Tech. Go Techies. What's their mascot? A computer.
It's a computer. Oh, man. All right. Anyway, we'll see you guys next week for the final predictions.
Yeah, the final. Yeah, that's true. Excuse me. Oh, gosh. So we got one more week of prediction, and then one more week of game review, and then who knows? Who knows? The world is our oyster. We can talk about anything sports related.
All right, I gotta go.
Bye.